Hi guys, I'm Brian from Dots, and today I'm going to show you how to set up an automatic attendance dialer in Infinite Campus. This attendance dialer will automatically call the parents of all students who were marked absent on that day. The attendance dialer uses the messenger feature of Infinite Campus, so you may also hear the attendance dialer referred to as the attendance messenger, but they both mean the same thing. To set up an attendance dialer in Infinite Campus, you need to have attendance rights. You should also make sure that nobody else in your school has set up an attendance dialer. It's actually possible to have more than one attendance dialer at a school, and of course that's not something you want. So be sure that you're the only one to set up an attendance dialer. Lastly, as always, make sure that you're in the correct school and in the correct school year. We're going to start in the Index tab. Click on Attendance. We'll be working in two areas of attendance, Attendance Messenger and Attendance Message Scheduler. If you don't see these options, then you know right away that you don't have attendance rights. Your school principal can authorize you to have these rights. They just need to open a web browser and go to hss.dpsk12.org and log a ticket to the DOTS service desk, authorizing you to have attendance rights in Infinite Campus. Click on the Attendance Messenger link. This will display the Attendance Messenger window. First, we need to create the template for your school's attendance dialer. For the messenger criteria, we're going to choose all students who are absent with an unknown excuse for at least one class period. So Infinite Campus will call the parents of all students with at least one unknown absence. The effective date should be showing today's date. Next, you'll see the delivery devices, which is just a fancy way of saying how do you want the attendance messenger message to get to the parents. The first one is the inbox delivery device, which sounds like it's the parent email, but it's actually not. Inbox refers to the notification screen of the parent's parent portal account, so that the parent will see the message when they log into their parent portal. Go ahead and leave this checked. You'll also want to check email and voice, so that the parent gets the message in their email and on their phone. Now you can check text if you want to, which will send the message as an SMS text message to parents' cell phones. Now keep in mind though that some parents may not want the message sent as a text message. The message subject line is where you type the subject that will appear in the attendance messenger's email messages. For example, you can type student attendance at Stephen Knight Center. The message body is where you type the actual message that will go out to parents. It will go out as a parent portal message, an email message, and a phone message depending on the delivery devices you choose. Now here's a sample message you can use. Now you can just substitute Stephen Knight Center for your school name, and you can substitute the phone number for your school's attendance line. If you're making an attendance dialer for a middle school or a high school, you can substitute absent from school today with absent for one or more class periods today. Now, let me show you a little trick you can use to personalize the message to each individual parent who receives the message. Now, I'm going to place the cursor between student and was, and then I'm going to click on the green F button up here. That's going to show me a list of every information field that Infinite Campus uses to store student data. Which, by the way, this list may take a couple of seconds to load. Anyway, under Student, I'm going to open up Demographics. I'm going to click on the first name field. Notice that when I do, the first name field is now embedded inside of the attendance messenger message. So, instead of saying your student was absent, the message will say your student Daniel was absent, or your student Maya was absent. Again, this just makes the message a little more personal to the parent. And of course, you could type up the message again down here in Spanish or another language if you'd like. Now, scroll down to the bottom of the window. Notice that you have the option to upload a WAV file, which is just a sound file you've recorded. Now, you can actually use this record a message button right here, because DPS has not implemented this functionality in Infinite Campus. You'd need to record the sound file in advance. If you do, then you can upload that sound file right here. And if you do this, then what will happen is Infinite Campus will use the text that you typed above for the email message and the parent portal messages, and it will use the sound file you upload when it calls the parent phone numbers. Now, you can do this if you want. Just keep in mind that when the phone rings and a parent picks it up, they learn to recognize that attendance dialer message pretty quickly, and that's whether you type the message above or whether you record it. Anyway, for the delivery date, just enter the first day that you want the message to go out. It can be today, it can be tomorrow, whenever you'd like. Here in the Send Inbox Emails field, type in the time of day when you want the attendance messenger messages and the parent portal messages to be sent. You can enter any time you want. Just be sure and give your teachers adequate time to take attendance in the morning. So maybe 9:15 a.m. The dial window is the block of time when Infinite Campus should call the parent phone numbers. The start time should be on or about the same time as you entered in the Inbox Emails field, and the end time should be at least 30 minutes after the start time to make sure that the attendance dialer has adequate time to call all the parents of absent students. So I'm going to enter 9:45 a.m. Now, needless to say, be sure not to inadvertently enter PM here. Your parents would probably not appreciate a phone call at 9:45 in the evening. These two buttons here at the bottom are mainly for testing purposes. You can click on the test button. It'll ask you for a phone number. Then in a few seconds, it will call that phone number and it will read you the phone message. And then this Preview Send button just lets you see the text of the message that goes out to email and parent portal. It also tells you how many parents will receive the message. But that number isn't really relevant since the attendance dialer will of course be calling a different number of parents each day. These two buttons are really more for robocalls than they are for the attendance dialer, but you can use them if you want. Now, scroll back up to the top of the attendance messenger window. Now that all the criteria and text have been entered into the template, you need to save the template. Click on the Save button. When you name the template, always begin with your school number and end with the current school year. So for example, we could name this one 178 Attendance Dialer Template 1617. Then click on OK. With your new template saved, now all you need to do is set up the schedule for the template. Click on the Attendance Messenger Scheduler link. At the top of the Attendance Messenger Schedules list, you should see the template that you just created. Go ahead and click on that template. In a few seconds, the schedule window will appear below. Type a name for the schedule. Say 178 Attendance Dialer Schedule 16-17. In the calendar list, scroll down until you see your school number and verify that the current year calendar for your school is selected. If not, then go ahead and select it. In the Start Date field, enter the same date that you entered for the template. In the Start Time field, you're going to want to enter a time that's 5 minutes after the start time you entered into the template. If you recall, earlier we entered 9:15 a.m. in the template, so here in the schedule we'll enter 9:20 a.m. That extra 5 minutes is so that Infinite Campus has time to put together the list of parents to contact that day. Set the recurring frequency to daily. Then make sure that the Send Confirmation Email box is checked. This will send an email message to your inbox every day, letting you know that the attendance dialer has completed calling parents. Finally, click on the Save button to save the schedule. If you notice, the template in the Schedules list now has a plus sign next to it. If you click on that plus sign, you will see the new schedule you just created, showing up right below the template. That indicates that this is the schedule for the 178 Attendance Dialer Template 1617. So, like Shakespeare, you have labored to produce an attendance dialer for your school. If you have any questions or need assistance with the attendance dialer, go to a web browser and type hss.dpsk12.org to log a ticket with the DOTS hotline, and DOTS will assist you.